Well, happy Monday after work. Kind of a little continuation on my soapbox rant from earlier today. Dennis Rock, I do appreciate you commenting on this. I agree with everything y'all are saying. I think we've got the same mindset as a lot of Americans do. And things like this, I think, need to be really talked about. There are so many things, from immigration to, school districts to, oh my gosh, every single government entity that receives funding from the taxpayers, the police departments, sheriffs, judges, the corruption that goes on is unreal. I really, I have some of my best friends are police officers, and that's a tough job. They took that job, and they signed their name on the dotted line. They raised their hand and they swore their oath to the Constitution, and I commend them for that. That's a job that I would not want to do, but they do it. Some of them do it well. Some of them do it not so well. I think that power tends to corrupt, and egos enlarge. There are so many videos on YouTube. First Amendment auditing, people who going out and fighting for our rights, Second Amendment, just testing, stress testing our rights in this country. I mean, we are not really free. We're not free. We all say that we're free. We live in a free country, but are we really free? I say no. Like I said, everything we do, we're taxed to death. We can't do something if we don't pay this tax for permission to do it. I can't even go fishing without having a fishing license. I can't go hunting without a hunting license. Can't drive my vehicle without a driver's license. I've got to pay registration every year just to say, hey, here's $80. And you had my car inspected. Yes, everything works. We don't have smog stuff yet here in Texas, but I'm sure it's coming. But we're not free. Talk and poop are free. About the only two free things that we have anymore. And heck, they try to limit our speech. Saying you can't say certain words, or they may call it hate speech. I would that's just taking away our rights one little bit at a time. One incy bit at a time. I mean, there's so many that have been taken away from us. I mean, just remember, I was born in 1964. I got my driver's license, and just before then, before I got my driver's license, you didn't have to wear your seatbelt. There was no law saying that you had to wear your seatbelt. It was there. It was optional. But now the government said, well, you know what? Better wear your seatbelt. We're going to extort some money from you if you don't wear it. And they did. They made it mandatory that you have to wear your seatbelt. All your passengers have to wear a seatbelt. Well, I agree. I mean, I've been in the racing community for years and years and years. Yes, I do understand seatbelts save lives. But they took away that choice. The choice whether or not I want to protect myself or not. The freedom to say, I don't have to wear it if I don't want to. It's just another thing the government's telling you have to do. I was 18 years old. When I was 18 years old, you were able to drink beer. You can drink beer, driving down the road, you pull up next to a cop, you're drinking a beer, no big deal. He might look at you, he might follow you, see if you're drunk or not. But he pulls you over. He didn't give you a ticket for a open container in your vehicle. You probably check to see if you were intoxicated or not. But these days, oh my gosh, you got a beer sitting in your cup holder and it's still cold and it's open. Oh, that's an open container, man. We're gonna give you a citation for that. And don't even get me started on game wardens. Game wardens have more power to violate your Fourth Amendment rights than the police do. I mean, the police have to have probable cause if they're going to search you or search your vehicle. Not a game warden. No, game warden can come up and ask you for your hunting license, your ID if they want. They can search your vehicle because they can search your ice chests, your backpacks, any place where it's possible for you to hide game that you may have taken illegally without any probable cause, just because they can do it. They trespass on your property. It's crazy. Policemen can't do that. No way. Get pulled over, he can't say, well, you need to get out and open your trunk because you might have some stolen property back there. We're just going to check just to see. Or we need to see what's in your backpack there because it's sitting on your front seat. They can't do that. I mean, if I had a syringe or something sticking out of my backpack, or bag of marijuana or some sort of drugs, then that gives them probable cause to be able to search it. Well, we can see it. It's in plain view doctrine. Game wardens, man, they don't need that. They can look in any compartment they want. They look in your toolbox, look under your truck, behind your seats, any kind of bags or coolers. Yeah, they've got that power. They wield it. My ex-wife and I, back in I think it was probably 1992, my ex-wife did not like to fish, but she liked to be out on the boat with me. Well, we're on this small fishing lake just outside of town. The game warden pulled up to the boat while we're out fishing. She was sitting there in the bottom of the boat, reading, in a seat, reading a book. It was cold, so she had a blanket on. And I'm up on the front deck fishing, and the game warden pulls over and goes, well, I need to do a boat inspection. I need to see your life jackets, a fire extinguisher, throwable device. Make sure you got a horn. I need to see your fishing license, and I need to see hers too. I go, she doesn't need a fishing license. She's not fishing. Well, she's in the boat with you, and you've got more than one rod and reel out here on the deck of your boat. And I said, that doesn't mean that she needs to have a fishing license. She is recreationally boating right now. She's not fishing. Did you see her fishing? He said, no, but she still needs to have a fishing license. I said, no, she does not. I mean, just think about what you're saying. I had to tell her, I said, think about what you're saying. My wife doesn't like to fish. I'm fishing. She's out boating. I'm fishing. Here's my license. She doesn't have a license. Well, I'm gonna have to write her a ticket for that. And I said, well, I think you need to call your supervisor before you do that, because I believe that you are wrong. And, I think he sat back and he thought about it for a minute, and I made a good point. I was just saying, just because you're out on a body of water and you're with somebody that's fishing doesn't mean that she needs to have a fishing license too, okay? That's what I'm saying. They've got a lot of power, and they wield it like a sword, just trying to extort money from the citizens who are already having to pay a tax to buy a fishing license to be out on the stupid lake to fish in the first place, then also have to pay a fee to get on the lake, and then all the other fees associated with owning a boat and insurance and everything else. You know, this is supposed to be fun. This isn't supposed to be, you know, getting harassed by law enforcement when you're out there trying to have fun. So I think that something really needs to be done about that. Yes, I know that there's people who do illegal things. They go poaching and they catch more than their limit. Well, my thought on that is that, hey, look, if the game warden saw me shoot that deer on the side of the road, from the road, absolutely, fine the heck out of me. If he saw me catching an illegal fish, find me, come inspect it, come and see, come measure it. You know, if you don't see me doing anything wrong, you know, leave me alone. You know, you pulling me over in a boat's the same thing as a cop pulling me over in a car. I have to be doing something wrong. The cop doesn't pull me over just because, hey, I need to make sure your high beams work, your low beams work, your blinkers work, all this stuff. You know, but in a boat, oh yeah, no, you've got to show me your life jackets and your throwable device and your fire extinguisher. Make sure it's all up to spec. But why? What made you suspect that I'm not legal? And that's where they get you, okay? And I don't know what you can do to stop that. Yes, definitely complain about it to the powers that be. Not that anything that'll ever happen, but I don't know. I feel that the game wardens and the Coast Guard and the sheriffs that are out on the water, you know, pulling people over who are out having a good time and taking them in for, you know, BWI just because, you know, well, okay, you've had a couple of beers, well, we're gonna take you in anyway, just to make sure. Okay, we think that you're drunk. My gosh, never ever do their test. Don't answer their questions. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law is exactly right. You don't have to talk to the police. You don't have to answer their questions. You get pulled over in your vehicle. They don't want to start up just friendly chit chat with you. They want to hem you up. They want you to talk. Oh, you know, you're slurring your words. Hey, Mr. So-and-so, where are you going? Where you been? You live here? You know? That's really none of their business. You give them what you're required to give them by law. In some states, you got to give them registration, but our registration's on our windshields. License, registration's on our windshield, give them insurance, and that's it. Any other questions you want to ask me, I'm probably not going to answer them because it's really none of your business. I've given you what's required by law. Now go write me my ticket or give me a warning or whatever you want to do, but I don't want to engage in any kind of friendly chit chat with you. You're the one who's, you know, stealing my money. Okay, I guess I'm done with my Monday afternoon rant. I don't know if this is going to be a regular thing or not.